Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Upstate Speedtests. Today we are poolside in what is a typical summer scene here. You got bright sunshine, nice cold pool. There's a park right next to us. And today we're going to test all three providers on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. And the other interesting thing here about this test is that we're basically at the edge of cell for all three providers. Verizon's a little closer than T-Mobile and AT&T. I'll try to put up a map to show you guys a little bit of a frame of reference of where we are versus where the cell sites are, and we'll go from there. I also put T-Mobile's 3-month free trial on the phone I'm recording on. This is a S23 Ultra, and maybe I'll pause the video and run some tests on that for you guys when we get to Verizon and T-Mobile. Anyway, here is Verizon, and Verizon's going to be the closer of the three providers for this test. And I have Verizon running right now because they work the best in this location based on everything I've seen, but I'll try not to spoil the rest of the results for you. And to be honest, I haven't really tested AT&T here, so it'll be interesting to see. We're starting out with a 76 millisecond ping. We got 110 megabits per second on the downlink. The loaded ping times are atrociously bad, and it's really weird because, you know, Verizon's the closer of the three providers to this location. They're on a concealed macro above a retirement home that I've tested for you guys before. But this will be an interesting test because, again, we're at the edge of the cell. If you go up the block, maybe 3 or 4 more houses, you switch over to a different cell site than the one we're on. So there's 110 down, 3.2 on the up. The loaded ping's terrible. The unloaded ping is, I guess, fine, and the jitter at 15.
Daddy, here's your watch.
Oh, thank you. It's my wife's watch. Coming up next, we'll switch over to T-Mobile, give them a test, and we'll be right back. All right, we are switched over to T-Mobile. Let's give them a go. T-Mobile is on a FM transmitter site that, again, you guys have seen multiple times on this site, but unique situation here, very much running at the edge of the cell. Again, a couple blocks in either direction and you'll switch off to another, well, less than a couple blocks, you'll switch off to another site. Just saw ultra capacity briefly flash on the screen. And in this location, depending on where you stand, T-Mobile will either be LTE, 5G, or rarely connect to UC. And again, UC being a higher frequency signal, you're gonna, you know, in edge of cell, it's gonna be harder to hold on to that. So 24.2 on the down, 9.02 on the up, and I'll be sure to throw up on the screen next what I got on the S23 Ultra 3-month free trial setup on it. So overall, if you notice, though, the loaded ping times are better than Verizon, and Verizon is closer in this location. The jitter and the loaded ping, however, are terrible, as I'm getting harassed by a bug here. Anyway, coming up next, we'll show you what we get with the S23 Ultra, and then we'll do AT&T. But first, give a shout-out to our channel sponsor, CircledIn. CircledIn will help you get a postpaid plan without having to set up your own family plan as I get blasted with a super soaker. And we'll be right back. Today's video is brought to you by CircledIn. CircledIn.com makes it super easy to get the benefits and savings that come along with a postpaid or prepaid wireless account without having to set one up yourself. Let's take just a second to see how easy it is to use CircledIn.com and save a ton of money on your wireless. Starting out on the CircledIn.com homepage, I would start by clicking All Circles. Once the page loads, you can sort by postpaid or prepaid providers like Verizon, T-Mobile, Google Fi, Simple Mobile, and Metro. If you see a plan that piques your interest or you feel fits you best, you can click Join Circle, read through more details about the plan, and if you decide to go for it, you can click Reserve. CircledIn also now supports streaming services like Netflix, Disney, Hulu, HBO Max, and more. CircledIn.com, check them out today. Thank you again for supporting the channel. All right, so we've got AT&T fired up. AT&T pulling 1 bar consistently. T-Mobile was seeming to pull 2, maybe, if I remember correctly. And here we go. AT&T starting out with a loaded ping of 126, so I believe that's the worst of the three. 732 for the loaded ping on the download as Sneed pops into our channel once again. Shout out to Sneed. And the upload is atrocious at less than a megabit per second. Loaded ping times are out in the stratosphere. The jitter at 32, all terrible. But I didn't expect goatness from AT&T in this location. Although now we're popping a second bar. Let's give AT&T one more chance here. Just because maybe it picked up a better signal, I don't know. So here we go. With still terrible speeds, terrible loaded ping time. So it's looking like AT&T is going to be the worst of the three in this location. Jitter at 7. Also, just a little interesting tidbit to note. Oh no, somebody just spilled a beer. Interesting to note that AT&T is the highest provider on the tower as well. They have the highest rack. So there we go. Terrible results from AT&T, but I kind of expected it. So that's going to do it for this video from your typical summer pool setting. I pulled a muscle in my back, so that hurt for a second there. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, and hey, we'll see you guys in the next video.